What's up, everybody? It's your boy, IFBB Pro, Aaron Clark. And while I was in town for Nationals in Miami, we got a back workout in at Busybody. So I'm going to take you through what I'm doing. This is a little faster than the back workout that I would typically do, but it's a pretty good compilation of the exercise that I like to do. So as you see me right here, I like to do these before I start doing any type of pull down movement, mainly because of my shoulders. Before I start doing these pull-ups that I'm doing, I do a little bit of a pull down, as you saw, like a pullover, and then I start doing these pull-ups. I don't really count the reps. Since I do body weight, I do as many as I can. So normally the first set I'll fail around between 20 and 30 reps, and then the second 2 sets I'll probably do around 10 reps. So I used to do these weighted, but the bigger I get and the longer I bodybuild, the more I feel like that's actually just detrimental to my shoulders, and I don't really get the contraction that I want to get. So I save the weight for the exercises that follow, and I get as good of a contraction as I can. To some people it may look like I'm using a short range of motion, but I'm getting a full contraction. So then, we didn't waste any time. We went over here and did barbell rows, and recently, to make these harder, I've been supersetting the barbell rows with deadlifts. So what I do is I do a bent over barbell row, and as I fail with the weight, I just start deadlifting it until I can't lift it anymore. So that way I'm fatiguing my upper back and my lats, and then I get a good contraction. I kind of pull my erectors and the entire back together. So this is a great exercise to really fatigue your whole back, you know, get it done quickly, very high intensity, and yeah, it's something I've been enjoying doing. I actually have some back problems. I had a pinched nerve, so I have to be careful with how much weight I really am using, especially when I drain legs twice a week. I don't really want to deadlift too heavy, and I don't really want to overdevelop my core either. So as a bodybuilder, I really just want to tie everything together. So this exercise has allowed me to do that. And also recently I've been trying to train at a faster pace, mainly just because it keeps me in better shape. We all know, we hear a lot of bodybuilders gasping for breath as they're going up the stairs. So I really try to not be that guy and train at a fast pace, keep the intensity high. It also forces me to use a little less weight and to stay injury free. So it's better for you, and I'd really recommend anybody train like that. So we really only did 2 of these. Sometimes when I do things that are this intense, I really only do 2 working sets. And after these, we moved on to 2 arm dumbbell rows. A lot of people like to do 1 arm dumbbell rows, but I abandoned those pretty early on in my career just because I just don't feel them that well, and I feel like most people do them incorrectly. They're just kind of chainsawing the weight up, and they're not focusing on getting a good contraction like they would if they were focusing on keeping their core tight and actually squeezing their lats like I'm doing here. It's a very natural movement. You can kind of come in and then squeeze out. It's a little easier on your shoulders and really everything. So this is probably one of my favorite back movements. Even when I don't do barbell rows, I always do these. It almost mimics the contraction that you would do before you would hit a lat spread. So I feel like I get a very good full range of motion with my lats when I do these. I also have cut back on how much I've been using straps. I used to always use straps, but I actually found that the more I use straps, sometimes I yank the weight too much and I don't pull from my elbows like I'd like to. And so I may use the straps for my heaviest exercise, but when I move on to these more accessory exercises, I put them back in my bag, and I just try to really focus on the contraction and get the most out of it. After that, we did some lat pull downs. I don't use a lot of heavy weight with these. I don't like to yank the weight. For me, this is very much so an isolation contraction exercise. At this point, we've been keeping a very fast pace, and so I'm very fatigued. So, you know, just slightly under 200 pounds, that's plenty of weight. As you can see, I'm being very deliberate in how I'm keeping the tension on my lats and pulling right from my elbows down, and I'm not really pulling the bar too far in front of me. It's almost like a back double biceps pose. So I just get a good contraction. I feel the lat fully stretched, and I don't let the pressure transfer to my shoulders. I keep it on the lats, and then I just contract down. So we did 3 sets of those. A lot of times I like to go back and forth between rowing movements and pull-ups and pull-downs just to give my lower back a break. A little easier on the stomach too. I actually have had stomach problems bad enough where I had a hard time keeping my food down when I would do barbell rows. Luckily I don't have that issue right now, but that's been a struggle for me. So yeah, after we did these, we moved on to some T-bar rows. A lot of you will have seen maybe on my Instagram that I like to do these with a rope, but they have this machine here, really cuts back on the time. And again, I don't like to really go too heavy with these. And one thing that I want people to notice is you can see that I'm using my diaphragm. I'm letting my shoulders roll forward at the bottom of the movement, and then as I contract up, I'm pulling air into my chest and squeezing back. This is something that is very important to really get a full contraction in the back. You got to play around with it. It's definitely not moving the weight from point A to point B. A lot of people, it takes time to build that mind-muscle connection. So the weight may not look heavy to you, but if you're doing it right and you're keeping a fast pace, trust me, it'll feel plenty heavy. You can probably see I'm drenched in sweat at this point. And we finished off with just some low rows on the cable, and I supersetted those with the pullovers that I started with. This entire workout took about 1 hour. So you can see we used a decent amount of weight and did a decent amount of exercises, and kept a really fast pace and a good intensity. So it was a good workout. Typically, I would say I'm in the gym for 90 minutes to 2 hours. I used to be in there longer than that, but the more I learn my body and the longer I do this, I train a little smarter. I learn to be more efficient with the exercise that I do, get a better contraction, and it just takes time to learn your body and learn what works best for you. So, keep an open mind, and everybody that competes and that you look up to for some aspect of either bodybuilding or strength, take little bits of what you see them doing and apply it to yourself. It's all trial and error. So, at this point, I try to train as intense as I can without damaging my joints and tendons, because I'm a pro bodybuilder, and that's really what I have to do. But I try to mix it up and keep it fresh, keep it fun. Nobody likes to be bored in the gym. So, but yeah, back training is definitely one of my favorite workouts. People recognize me for my back development. So it's been something that, again, I've had to cut back on the weight. I probably use less weight, honestly, than I did at the beginning of my career, but my back looks much better. And you'll notice that when I open up and I hit my lat spread, there's a lot more detail. And that just goes to show you how much of this is mind-muscle connection and how little of it is actually numbers and the weight that you're moving. So you can see my elbows are turning out and my shoulders are rolling forward, and then I pull the air into my chest and squeeze as hard as I can. And that's really the movement that I'm going for to really maximize the movement. And then you doing the pullover after that just stretches out the lats. Just put some extra blood in there to finish off. A lot of times I do a little bit more lower back, but we didn't today because the next workout I was going to do was quads. So I try not to overdo the stress on my lower back just because I don't think it's necessary. And I have had some lower back issues in the past, so I try to be careful with that. I try to just make sure that it's stimulated, but you definitely don't want to over fatigue your lower back before you do squats and other heavy leg training. So that's pretty much a wrap. It was fun. I enjoyed training a busybody, and I'm looking forward to moving down this area and hopefully making this my home gym. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, it's Aaron Clark, Blackstone Labs. Peace.